So as you can see, it's the 31st of August 2015, and I've had my first month in charge of Pompey during a league campaign. So what has happened over the last month? Well, it's been a mixed bag, to be honest. If you have a look at the fixtures, we've currently got 5 Sky Bet League 2 games. We've got a 0-0 draw, a 2-1 win, a 3-1 loss, a 2-1 win, a 3-1 loss. A little bit of a pattern emerging here. Now, I have to admit, it hasn't quite gone to plan. Our loss against Derby, really, I was expecting that. That wasn't anything too big. Dagenham and Redbridge, that game really frustrated me. One of the reasons why, as you can see, is a red card from Hayden White. Now, you might not know who Hayden White is, and that's because he was a later transfer that happened since the last video went out. So let's just have a quick look at those transfers to get you up to speed, and then we'll get back to the fixtures. So for our transfers, if you look at our transfer history, we've brought in a couple of players since we last talked. Number 1 is Hayden White, and number 2 is Bruninho. So Hayden White is another right back. We'll have a quick look at his stats. He is a decent player right now. Good acceleration, good pace, strength, stamina. All of that's good, and decent tackling and passing, which is something that I really look for in a right back. He has quite a lot of potential, as we can see, but if we look at his current ability, he is just as good as Nico Yanaris. And remember, Nico Yanaris was the player I also bought in on loan to basically be my first choice right back. So I wanted a bit of competition between these two, which is why I thought I'd bring in Hayden White as well as Nico Yanaris. We also brought in Bruninho. And now the reason we brought in Bruninho is, unfortunately, we have had an injury to our star man, Gary Roberts, and we'll have a look at that injury in a second. So Bruninho came in for 18k. He's not exactly a great player, but for 18k, it's really not a bad signing. So he comes in with an average amount of pace and decent technical stats. When you look at crossing and dribbling, 2 stats that are really good for a winger, he has them both, as well as good first touch, passing and technique. Work rate could do with some improvement, but 11's not too bad at this level. He has a bit of flair, so hopefully he'll do a few tricks, get down the line, take on his player, and whip in those crosses. He came in for 18k from Penafiel. I probably am pronouncing that wrong as well. From the Portuguese Premier League, and he is 26 years old, had a bit of experience, and basically is going to be the sub right winger, second choice. So Gary Roberts, as I mentioned, is injured. Bruninho is just as good as Adam McGurk and Kyle Bennett on the right. So if we have a look at Gary Roberts, he has a twisted ankle. He's currently out for another 5 to 11 days, but if we look actually at when that happened, it was back on the 11th of the 8th, okay, so the 11th of August. So he's been out basically since the beginning of the season. So after the Derby match, that's where he got injured, and he's been out for these games. So our best player has been out injured, which means we had to bring in the sub, and Bruninho has played some of those games, Adam McGurk a little bit, but we haven't had a lot of luck with our injuries. So go back to the Dagenham and Redbridge game. Really frustrated me, as I mentioned. If you look at the stats here in our 0-0 draw, you'll see that we had 6 shots, 5 on target, which is a decent amount. It was a pretty close game, but nobody really performed. It's a bit upsetting because I think that we have a good team, but when we look at the performances, there's nothing to stand out here. It's the first game of the season. You'd expect players to be pushing forward. Come on, boys, show us what you've got. I'm going to skip over the Derby match really quickly because nothing was too surprising there. Gary Roberts scored before he got injured, and apart from that, Michael Doyle got 2 yellows, and Tom Beadling coming in got 2 yellows. So I ended up with 9 men against a championship side, and of course we lost. It's not surprising at all. Next, our first win of the season was against Plymouth. Alex Henschel, the loanee, got a goal, as well as Danny Hollins. Two decent players. Danny Hollins will be our first choice defensive midfield. Alex Henschel, our sub left winger. Moving on to the Crawley game, we lost 3-1. Brian Murphy scored an own goal. If I remember rightly, it came off the back of his head after hitting the crossbar. And basically, we were outclassed in this game. There's nothing else to say. They really just beat us fair and square. The Morecambe game was a little bit different. Matt Tubbs scored 2 goals after going down 1-0 by Paul Millen. Sana, absolutely fantastic performance, and we're going to have a look at him in a few minutes because he really has been the player of the season so far. And lastly, our game against Luton. Now, this is where I am very frustrated. Michael Doyle is our captain. He got a straight red card after 32 minutes. Before he got the red card, it was 1-1, and we were looking into the game. But then the red card changed everything. Now, the reason I'm frustrated is because if you remember, even though it wasn't that much of an important game, against Derby, he also got a red card after 2 yellows. He's the captain of the team, so he really needs to buck up his ideas. So if we look at Michael Doyle right now, and we look at my conversation history, I really wasn't very happy. So I basically reminded him of his role, that he is the captain. He's supposed to be an ambassador to the club. Kids look up to him. Just behave yourself. He reacted well, and to be honest, I'm hoping this will be the end of his bad behavior at the club. Now, a few people were asking about our tactics. So let me just have a quick look at our tactics. This is our starting formation. This is the one we usually go with, and it's the 4-1-2-3. DM wide is what it's called originally, I believe. I've called it Pompey 1. I play with 2 fullbacks, Yanaris and Ender Stevens. I have played around with putting these as limited fullbacks or fullbacks, but both of these players are decent enough at playing as a fullback. Now, the main difference, for those who don't know, between a fullback and a limited fullback is a limited fullback basically tries to just defend. A fullback gets up, supports, and tries to include some attacking runs as well. For our defenders, 2 limited defenders, just at this level, we don't want them to be ball-playing defenders. We don't want them to try and do too much with the ball. So they're just there to tackle and get rid of the ball. We have a defensive midfielder, Danny Hollins, who's been playing excellent. Last 5 games, 7.1. That's a decent average rating. Now, the best player so far this season for me has been Sana, a 7.08 rating. And if we have a quick look, he's played all 5 games, started all 5, and he has just been a good player in midfield. No goals, no assists, but that's not really his main priority. His main priority is to get the ball, pass it around, and start those moves, okay? So he's got an 80% shots on target, 77% passing, and it just seems that every game that he plays well. So if we look at his form, he's played 6.7, a 7.6, a 7.6, 6.6, and a 6.9. So I'm happy with what he's been doing so far. He's a pretty good player, and like I mentioned when I signed him, he's one of those players who I really think could be big for the club this season. Now, unfortunately, a player who I thought could be big for the club but hasn't done as much is Alessandro Del Piero. Del Piero has all the technical stats you would want at this level, and more. He's absolutely technically excellent. However, he just hasn't been playing well. It's as simple as that. You're disappointing me, Alessandro. Now, some of you might look at this and say, have you really given him a chance? Because he hasn't really started any games. And that's true, he hasn't started any games. Part of the reason why is because if we have a look, he was injured during pre-season, which knocked back his pre-season training a little bit and meant he wasn't fully fit. So my idea is to give him a couple of starts and see how it goes. The only problem with that is that Matt Tubbs has been playing excellent. 6 games, 4 goals, an average rating of 7. So anyway, back to the tactics. We have a ball-winning midfielder, centre midfielder attacking, 2 wingers, and an attacking advanced forward. And if we look at the instructions, we play a high tempo. I want to move the ball quick, but at the same time, we have mixed passing where we retain possession. So yes, I want to move the ball quick, but I also want to keep the ball. I kind of like the Arsenal style, where they pass it and move and pass and move and pass and move, and that's what I'm trying to recreate here a little bit. I don't really like time wasting, and I don't really like using too deep or too high, so we have a normal defensive line. We go fairly wide just because we have got those wingers. We don't want to play too much down the middle, and when we're playing in defence, we try and clear the balls out to those wings. I've asked for our fullbacks to look for overlaps, so our fullbacks will hopefully get past our wingers and get some crosses in. Apart from that, that's the only real changes. I don't want to put too much freedom of movement, too much dribbling, so all the rest of it is kind of mixed how it starts. The only changes in the Pompey 2 formation is pulling our defensive midfielder and putting them in as a second striker, as a trequartista. I always say that wrong. And that's where Piero can play. So if I put Piero in that position next to Tubbs, when we have a strong lineup and we're playing a weaker team, this is the kind of formation that I'm going to use. A couple of people were also asking about my profile, so let's have a quick look. This is me, GC. As you can see, I started with basically no reputation. I'm a Sunday League footballer. I have a national A license, I believe, but that's about it. So I do need to improve my coaching badges. Right now, I've only got a national A license, and I really need to keep on going forward. So let's see if the board will accept me going for a Continental C license. I think it would be beneficial, and they agree with me. So it looks like I'm going on a coaching course. Not bad at all. I'm going to hold this backroom advice meeting, and then we're going to go and we're going to play the Johnson's Paint Trophy. Adam Webster's a hot prospect, but we should change him to first team. That's because he was playing at the beginning of the season because of an injury to Christian Burgess. We're spending over our wage budget. I don't really care. Well, I do care, but the thing is, I want to have the transfer budget I have right now. Okay, so right now I have 61,000, spending slightly over my wage budget, but not too much. But just in case something happens in the next 24 hours and I need to bring somebody in, I want that money there just in case. So I'm going to dismiss that one. Christian Oxlade should be moved from the under-21s to the under-18s. Yes, Oxlade-Chamberlain, this guy, if we looked at him at the beginning of the season, he wasn't that great. We have some high potential players. I do know that already. I've looked at those in my own time, and they want us to play 4-2-3-1 against Oxford. Okay, that's what we play anyway. Drop Ender Stevens. Yes, he hasn't been playing well. I did talk to him about it, and he wasn't too happy. If you have a look at Ender Stevens, he's a good player, but it frustrates me because I talked to him and said, basically, you weren't good enough, and he basically said, I was, coach. And it's like, look, last 5 games, 6.46. No, you're not. You're not good enough, son. Danny Hollands. I don't know why it says drop Danny Hollands for Jaden Stockley. That must be a bug, because Danny Hollands is a defensive midfielder. Jaden Stockley is a striker. I'm not quite sure why I would drop Hollands for Stockley. Liam Richardson, my assistant manager. Yeah, he must have had a hard night. We should play against them with a standard mentality. We should play in a fluid shape. Retain possession. Oh gosh. We're not going to change everything just to play one. This is something that I have been thinking about anyway. Sana's currently a central midfielder, but his best his best position is an advanced playmaker. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right now. I think I'm going to keep my tactics how they are. So it's interesting because I think this was a little bit new in FM16. In FM15, I don't think we got as many tactical advice from our coaches. So it's interesting to see that. But let's move on and let's play this game in the Johnson's Paint Trophy. So we're going to play this game against Oxford in the Johnson's Paint Trophy. This is our starting lineup, changed a little bit. Adam Webster has come in, as has Cole Kapakawa and Hayden White. Cole Kapakawa and Hayden White at fullbacks. Danny Hollins has kept his defensive midfield. We've got new centre midfielders, ball-winning midfielder James Dunn, central midfielder attack Nigel Atangana. Alex Henschel has kept his place on the left wing. Bruninho is coming on the right, and Del Piero has gone up front. So it's a pretty changed starting lineup with 7 changes there. It's important to mark Callum O'Dowda tightly, so I'm going to apply that to the team. And Danny Rose. Is that the Danny Rose? No, it's not. Oh gosh, I was going to say. Continues the team talk. So I agree with Richardson. Let's give the fans. Where's better performance than last time? Calm a team such as ours. I'm expecting a much better performance tonight. Last game was terrible. Let's see if they can do better now. So this is going to be the first start, as you can see, for some of these players who are coming in as rotation players. Del Piero, a lot's expected of you. Come on, okay? Come on, Del Piero. He's motivated. Get out there and get a goal, son. Please. Please, do it for me. It could be the worst signing ever on Football Manager if he doesn't do something soon. Del Piero? Del Piero? Oh my goodness me! Del Piero has scored his first start and he's scored a goal. Oh my gosh, that couldn't have been any better. Hayden White, down the right, looking for that overlap, crosses the ball in, and it's a tap in for Del Piero. Oh my gosh, I really couldn't have predicted that any better. Okay, we're supposed to be marking O'Dowda tight. Whew. So we haven't got the best of possession here, but we have got the goal. So I'm hoping that maybe I should move it to standard instead of control, because we're not that much better than Oxford, I don't think. It's not looking great right now, is it? It's all yellows, all off. Bicycle kick. Oh my goodness. Rose with the corner. And a bicycle kick at the near post. I have to admit, well done, son. That's pretty good. Okay, got a free kick. Nothing much is happening. I think we're getting back into the game a little bit. Oh, Atangana should have scored that apparently. Bruninho. Oh, he hit the post. Oh, it's his first start and he's doing alright. We're definitely getting back in this game after they got that goal. So, done. Yellow card. I don't know why my players are so... They keep on getting yellows, like every game. I feel like every game we get too many yellows. I don't like that we haven't got possession. Both my centre midfielders are both on yellows now. And my right back. Come on. Oh, and my left back. See, do you know what I mean? I haven't even got hard tackling on. I haven't got dive in. They're just freaking aggressive, man. Right, let's see. Atangana. I'm going to put Ben close on for you. And Bruninho's doing okay. Henschel's doing okay. I do want to give Evans a game. He's the guy I was trying to sell, but he hasn't really done anything, so... Should we keep White on because he made the assist? I think we'll leave it like that and hope. You can still win this one. Come on. Oh, don't switch off, Del Piero. I'm very happy with your performance. Yeah, come on, he's fired up. Go get another goal, Del Piero. I'm a little bit worried about those 3 yellows, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully nobody does anything drastic. Oh, oof. Oxford hits the post, and Webster clears it out. They're just coming forward all the time. Come on. It's all the time, they're just coming forward. And Rose again. Rose puts the cross in again. Where's the defence? They're just sitting watching. That's absolutely terrible, that. Literally sitting and watching. I don't like Cole Kipakawa. I really don't. Matthew Clark's going to have to come on. Even though he plays centre back usual. Oh, come on, Henschel. He might be the next guy off. Get the ball forward. Get it up to Del Piero. See if he can work some magic. Right, Henschel's off. Last sub. Last throw of the dice. Gareth Evans. I'm trying to sell you. Show me what you've got. Show me you deserve to stay in this team. Nothing's happening. Just... Del Piero gets taken out. A free kick. Nothing. Okay, we've got 15 minutes left. Let's go for it. Let's go forward. Let's attack these guys. Come on. So I told my players to go forward and absolutely nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. It's like they decided, I don't really want to listen to coach. Oh, what can I say? I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, James Dunn played well. He came in, played good. Nice to know that when Doyle is out for 3 games because of his red card, Dunn can play. Del Piero did good up front. But other than that, the people who came in didn't really show me much. Atangana, Bonino, nothing. Evans when he came on, nothing. Kipakawa was disappointing. White was decent. He'll definitely challenge in ours for the first team spot. But it's just disappointing, you know? It wasn't a good result. That's the sort of match we should be winning. Come on. So I think I'm going to leave this episode there. I'm a little bit frustrated finishing an episode with a loss. It was only the Johnson Spaint Trophy. I made lots of changes. Could have messed with the squad a little bit. But I just think that at the moment we're not doing good enough, and I'm not quite sure why that is. So I'm going to have a rethink, going to have a look, and hopefully we can do better. So, as you may have seen, even though I haven't shown you exactly, we're 11th in the table right now, which isn't bad. 7 points after 5 games. I would have expected a few more, but we're in touching distance of the playoffs, and really it's only the beginning of the season. Matt Tubbs is leading goal scorer, joint with Jay Simpson and Danny Hilton, but I'm hoping that Del Piero can get up there too. He's got his first goal now, so let's see how he does. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe for more Football Manager 2016 Up the Pompey action.